All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving our praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth, and a sincere peace, blessings, and salutations to you, Akim, across the four corners of the earth, pushing this knowledge, truth, and this sincerity. All right, I got a quick hit. Just going into the controversy surrounding the women's basketball championship, the NCAA women's basketball championship, and a situation where you had the player by the name of Angel Reese. And brothers, I'm sure have already heard about this, but just for those who don't know, you had a player who played for LSU by the name of Angel Reese, their star player. And then you had a player that played for the Iowa Hawkeyes who was the opponent in the championship game by the name of Caitlin Clark, where there towards the end of the game, after it was clear that LSU was going to win the championship, you had Angel Reese, kind of do a taunting gesture to Caitlin Clark, kind of in a smack talking, how we beat you kind of way. And a lot of people took offense to it, and that's all that everybody is talking about. Some of the comments, we'll watch a few videos, you'll see, people calling her classless, calling her all these names, saying it's unsportsmanlike what she did. But and Angel Reese is the black player that's catching all of this heat, so-called black. But then you had Caitlin Clark that was doing a similar thing, trash talking shit. And they were saying that she got swag, you know what I'm saying? Like she fierce, a fierce competitor, so on and so forth. But nobody had anything negative to say about her and about the shit that she did, the shit that she was talking and the taunts that she made when she was out there competing. But, when the so-called black player does it to her, then the whole world goes up in an uproar and has something negative to say. But it just shows the curses of Israel, okay? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and how those curses are still upon us. And it's going to remain that way until our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai comes back to save us. I do like, how what Angel Reese had to say. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a video clip of her speaking about her reaction when the reporters asked her about that moment when she taunted Caitlin Clark. All right, so let's play that video first. So check this out, because I like what she said.
All year, I was critiqued about who I was. Nobody, I don't, the narrative, I don't fit the narrative. I don't fit in the box that y'all want me to be in. I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto. Y'all told me that all year. But when other people do it, y'all don't say nothing. So this was for the girls that look like me, that's gonna speak up on what they believe in. It's unapologetically you.
Right,
All
and we're
year.
unapologetically Israelites. All right, we're unapologetically prophets, and we're gonna unapologetically declare the word of the Lord. But there's a difference between us and them, and we are not. This is not our world, okay? And we're under these curses, and so anything that we do, this devil is gonna take it and amplify it and use it as a way to demonize us. Because LSU, you had a bunch of, a team full of black players, and then the Iowa Hawkeyes, you had a team full of white players, man. So, of course, them folks is bitter when they see a team of black girls with long ass eyelashes and weaves in their hair and shit whoop those white girls' ass. Esau got a problem with that because they're in their kingdom. And it just simply shows that the perpetual hatred that Esau has is always going to exist, is always there, whether they smiling in your face for a moment or not, And so let me see. There's a difference between us and them, man. But the girl, Angela Reese, was talking about how they was just calling her names and judging her all season long because she don't fit the mold of the narrative. All right. And that's just the way that it is for Jake in America, being under these curses. Okay, because we always going through that, man. We always being heavily criticized, where if you had a so-called white person in the same position doing the same thing that you're doing, then they'll get a pass. Okay? So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 37. It says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. And we were scattered. We were brought over here to America to serve captivity, and fast forward to today, these curses are still upon us. We'll read it in the NLT. It says, you will become an object of horror, ridicule, and mockery among all the nations to which the Lord sends you. That's why ain't nobody ever coming to our defense. That's why all these devils is constantly judging us. Hey, as that girl, Angel Reese, could have had an amazing game. But what the media is going to pull from her performance is that one moment where she taunted the other player when the other player, Caitlin Clark, did the same fucking thing. She's guilty of doing the same thing and nobody had anything to say, man. So this was the moment where old girl had taunted.
Game, Clark had looked at Louisville's best player and did the hand in front of her face, and it goes viral in the Elite Eight. Well, what does Angel Reese do in the championship game when it was decided? She goes right up to Caitlin Clark and is like, you can't see me. And there was so much outrage online. Oh, how could she do that? That's bad sportsmanship. And I'm just like, really? So when Clark does it to someone else, all good. But when someone does it to Clark, no? It just felt weird. Trash talk's kind of part of the game, right?
And it's not really that it felt weird, That's the racism that this society tries to manipulate you to think is not there. But that racism, that hatred that Esau Edom has for the Israelites is always going to be present. And in situations like this where, it starts to manifest, where, that cloak of kumbaya, everybody is cool, starts to fade away, and you start to really notice the fact that there's a difference, that these devils still really hate us, and a lot of our people, man, you're going to find that out at the wrong time when this devil, pursuant to Revelations 12:12, comes down with great wrath, and that wrath is primarily going to be directed at you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and it's coming. And we've warned you. Okay, but this is Hebrews 12 and 16. It says, no, that's not it. Salakia. I want to go to Ezekiel 35. My bad. So straight to the point. Ezekiel 35 and 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut it off, and cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth. So the Lord is prophesying, all right, through the prophet Ezekiel, that he's going to make Mount Seir most desolate. Who's the representation of Mount Seir? Who dwelled in Mount Seir? Esau Edom. Who is Esau Edom? Hey, the so-called white man today. And the Lord is getting ready to destroy this place. He is preparing them unto blood. But skipping back up to verse 5, it said that there would be a perpetual hatred, okay, that Esau Edom or Mount Seir would have against the children of Israel. All right, and when you look out into the world today and you see the consistent racism between the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, Native Americans, primarily the so-called blacks is what's pushed the most, and the so-called whites. This is what you're reading. This is what you're reading right here. This is that perpetual hatred. This is the manifestation of the fight between Jacob and Esau. All right. You go to the book of Revelations. All right. And perpetual means, never ending. Let's get that word real quick before we jump over to Revelations.
Strong's H5769. Olam. Olam.
All right. So it goes back to the Hebrew word olam. And it says long duration, antiquity, futurity, forever, ever, everlasting, evermore, perpetual, old, ancient. So this is an ancient hatred from way back. All right. From the beginning with Jacob and Esau, when they were warring in the womb of Rebekah. They were fighting in the womb, man, trying to take each other out. That same fight has now manifested in our realities from generation to generation. Let's get that. So this is a continual, everlasting hatred between Jacob and Esau, the 12 tribes, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and the so-called white man Esau, Edom. Let me see. I think it's in Revelations 12. No. One second. Bear with me. It was in Revelations 12. Okay, so Revelations 12 and 17 says, and the dragon, which will represent Esau, Edom, okay, it says was wroth with the woman. Who is the woman? The woman represents Israel. All right. Are we not the bride of Yahweh Shai? Are we not the bride? So Israel represents the woman. And it says, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. And that would represent Israel, but that would represent, the elect. But this dragon was wroth with the woman. Let's get that word for wrath. All right. And it plays out in so many various arenas, we should say, or various theaters in our lives, man. This whole situation with Angel Reese is just one example. But there's many. It plays out when you try to go apply for a loan to get a house. It plays out when you try to apply or go in for an interview for a job. It plays out when you are, trying out for a certain, anything it could be, man. The so-called white man gets the advantage, and that they'll show you their hatred. Every fucking chance they get when you stand before a judge. Somebody, a so-called white man would get a slap on the wrist for something that Jake would get 10, 15, 20 years in prison for. That racism is in every pocket of this society. Now Esau Edom tries to disguise it to a degree, but soon enough, this devil is going to absolutely show his hatred in its fullness to the children of Israel, because he's going to be feeling like his kingdom is slipping from out of his grasp, and we're going to be to blame. Right? So
Strong's G 3710. Argidzo.
All right. It says to provoke, to arouse to anger, to be provoked to anger, to be angry, to be wroth. It says to provoke or enrage, become exasperated, be angry. Let's get that word exasperated in the etymology. All right, to exasperate. What does that mean? It says to irritate, provoke to anger. See, it says to make rough, roughen, irritate, provoke. And this ultimately is what Jake does. Hey, when they see that Jake is being great out there, hey, Esau Edom can't stand it. They hate that shit. But what does it say in the book of Genesis? All right. The Lord set one people up to be stronger than the other. And that's what plays out in these situations. That's why Jake is the best athletes. They're the best fighters. They're the best basketball players. They're the best football players. They're the best musicians. That's Jake. Okay, the former of all things. And Esau gets very bitter when he sees these things. So when these rich little white girls is out there playing against a team full of Jakes with, families probably, middle class or less, and they can step on the court and whip these kids' ass that had nothing but privilege their whole lives, and they can't stand that shit, man. Then you got a nerve to taunt them. Oh man, that put Esau Edom in a rage, man. They become exasperated. You see, they become exasperated. It says irritate. They're exasperated. They're irritated and provoked to anger. They mad as hell. So now they're getting on their platforms and they talking all this shit, all in their fucking feelings, man. All emotional. When it's really not that big of a fucking deal. This is Genesis 25 and 23. It says, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. Who are those nations? You got the nation of Israel, okay? 12 tribes, which come from the seed of Jacob. And then you have Esau Edom, okay? The opposing, which is representative of the so-called white man today. Okay, so you had Jacob, the 2 nations, you have Jacob and you have Esau. You got the 12 tribes, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans make up those tribes. And then you have the so-called white man on the other side, Esau Edom. It says, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. Who came out first? Esau came out first. So guess what? Esau Edom is going to serve us as we had to serve him. But in the latter end, in our kingdom, Esau Edom is going to serve us, the Israelites, in our kingdom as a slave. And that's a hard pill to swallow for them too, because see, Esau right now is in his kingdom, so he's so lifted up with pride. The Lord kind of turned his face, away for a moment and let Esau Edom just kind of do what he want with us, for our transgressions against the Lord. But, now the iniquity, our iniquity is fulfilled. So the Lord is about to turn this thing around, and he's about to make Esau Edom and these other nations that put hell upon the apple of the Lord's eye, which are the Israelites. Hey, he's going to make them drink of that cup. Now we're in that time where it's their turn to drink, and we're proclaiming it. We're telling them of their judgment. This is their judgment. They're going to have to drink for the cup. Hey, what you sow is what you reap. What you reap is what you sow. So hey, they sow nothing but wickedness, rape, robbery, and murder. And then now they're going to reap the same, man. You're going to be punished for that. All right. But one people shall be stronger than the other. And that's what we saw in that national championship game. And now Esau is in a rage about it, man. He's in a rage. They got the videos where they caught this bitch doing the same thing.
So Clark up to 9 boards, but she turns it
Clark, you're down 15 points. Shut up.
over. And it's Louisville basketball. So Clark up to 9 boards, but she turns.
But nobody got anything bad to say about her, man. But Angela Reese go to the free throw line and taunts, and the whole world is in an uproar, man. It just shows you that, Jake, hey, you under these curses. You are under these curses, man. And it's going to remain that way until the Lord takes these curses up from up off us. All right, so let's check this out, and then I'm gonna close the video.
How long were you sitting on the...
Fair use on these clips.
I tell you, I was waiting. Me? At what point were you waiting to pull out this?
Man,
Kind of the Caitlyn
Caitlyn Clark is a hell of a
Incredible
player for sure.
but I don't take disrespect lightly. And she disrespected Alexis and my girls. South Carolina, they still my SEC girls too. Then y'all not gonna disrespect them either. So I wanted to pick her pocket, but I had a moment at the end of the game, and that was just I was in my bag. I was in my moment.
So yeah, Caitlin Clark did that to some of Angel Reese's homegirls in the prior games, and so that she took opportunity when she got it to get her back. Hey, man, that's fair game. You know, that's fair game. But when you are in a society where it's ruled by people that hate you, then that's going to be the outcome. You know, you're going to be demonized. You know, as much as they feel the need, they'll demonize you. All right, and they'll use their media to make you out to be, you know, the enemy, and they're gonna do that to the prophets. They're gonna do that to us. They're gonna use their media machine against us for declaring the downfall of their kingdom. You know, but hey, like the scriptures say, if the Most High be with us, then who can be against us? So we're not gonna worry or fear anything that this devil can do, man. We just gonna keep our fear in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man, and trust the process. But anyway, I just wanted to pull a few precepts and speak on this briefly, man, because I've been watching a bunch of these videos, which shit is kind of funny to me. Esau Edom all in his feelings, you know, for this girl, basically whipping on, you know, Caitlin Clark's ass, and Esau Edom all in their feelings, man. They calling this girl ghetto and, you know, calling them all kind of shit just because they salty. Okay, that Esau Edom ain't really got it like that. Now, Caitlin Clark cold, don't get me wrong, she cold as hell. But just wanted to bring that out just to show that hatred is live and well. Okay, and it's about to manifest in a way that Jake could never believe. All right, when Esau Edom continues to get exposed and he can't hide himself any longer, man, he's about to pull out them horns and just start slaughtering Jake to try to save his own kingdom. It's coming. We're close, man, because the end time prophecies are here. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh. By Hashem Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to your hopeful elect out there pushing this truth. And until next time, I'm going to say shalom.